This is episode 103 of Organizations Win Championships, an Odyssey 2400 Sports podcast, along with our producer, Spencer Ray. I'm Dan Bernstein, and this is my partner, Spanky Beatwiener.
I saw that written down.
Oh, you can't look?
I mean, I couldn't even read it because your handwriting is so ass. So I couldn't even read it, but it's proof that you actually think and brainstorm names, because there's one that's also crossed out.
Yeah, I was going to.
So maybe that's next week.
No, I don't think so.
So he seriously brainstorms
insulting, stupid, lampoonish names for you.
Lampoonish.
Yes.
You're a lampoon is what you are.
You don't even know what it means?
Stabbing.
Lampooning.
Yes.
No. You don't know what lampoon means? To satirize comically. To send up.
I had 3 A's and an A-, so I'm not gonna have an academic lecture right now. I'm not dealing with it.
Vocabulary. It's not. I mean, if you were at an accredited university,
you said that my writing was really good, especially when I wrote about Apocalypse Now. So I don't
want
to hear.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So damn right.
Unfortunately, the Bulls remain good. Damn it! There's 13-16. They're 9th in the Eastern Conference. They remain 2nd overall in pace. They're 13th of 30 in offensive rating, 24th of 30 in defensive rating, 22nd of 30 overall. And the problem is now what's just actually going on in the current standings, because there are too many teams in the East that know how to be bad. Like the Wizards know how to be bad. The Hornets know how to be bad. The Raptors know how to be bad.
Well, I mean, Scotty Barnes is hurt, but still.
And now, frankly, the Orlando Magic at 18-12. We'll talk about the East.
Feel awful for them. I feel terrible for the Magic
now that Mo Wagner's out. But look, the Bulls. I told you that they were going to beat Charlotte, and they beat Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they beat the Celtics.
Killed them, especially in the fourth quarter.
Until they lost to the Celtics because things finally righted themselves. But that was without Josh Giddey playing, so you didn't have your bad defense back there.
But the thing is that winning one of those games is still an upset. Going 500 against the Celtics is not what we want.
Without question. They have to get worse. And we're getting to a critical time. So let's address, first of all, the latest rumors that have now been confirmed. Joe Cowley of the Sun-Times confirms what was initially reported in The Athletic, that the Nuggets are interested in Zach LaVine. Okay.
Makes sense. And we saw a lot of Nuggets clips because of a Nikola Jokic video that I showed you by Jimmy High Roller.
So good.
Shout out Jimmy High Roller. He's fantastic. And that video made it all the more evident that they need a scorer, because I don't know what the hell happened to Jamal Murray. And even though Michael Porter Jr. can shoot the crap out of the ball, he's not a good enough creator by himself. And that's what they need right now. Also, I said shout out Jimmy High Roller. I lost a wager to one of my friends. I have to shout out Jacob Schneider because Florida kicked Tulane's butt in the Gasparilla Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And not looking good. At least we got an Illinois transfer quarterback.
So wait, because Jacob Schneider was a baseball teammate of his who ended up going to Florida. That's why they had the bet.
That's why we had the bet.
And so what else do we have to say about
him? He is the slowest man alive. And he said if Tulane won, he would have had to have run a 5K. So I wish Ty Thompson wasn't bad at football, because I would have paid to see that, because he
doesn't have to run a 5K fast. It would just take him a long time.
It would take him a very long time. A very
like at the end, everybody's got white beards. They're all covered in cobwebs. Here he comes. No, see, this is the opposite. He won the bet, and we're roasting him. It's supposed to be the opposite.
He's a mensch.
You know what he is? He's a
kid.
Nice young man. He's a well-raised, well-mannered, bright boy.
Yes, he is.
There you go.
I saw him the other night, and it was nice to see him.
Okay,
because I hadn't seen him in a while.
Your debt is paid. So when you talk about Michael Porter Jr. lacking the skills as a creator, I get it, but he's the guy who's coming back to the Bulls. Like they would have,
Probably.
they would, yeah. And I don't necessarily think it makes the Bulls better, but I don't know that it makes them bad enough if they do this deal.
Right, because Zach LaVine can create his own shot, but Kobe White can as well, and that would open more opportunity.
Josh Giddey can create.
Yeah, and that would open more of an opportunity. And Lonzo Ball is not the best at creating for himself, but he's great at creating for others. Even though he's not what he used to be, he's been pretty good, especially defensively. It's not his speed or crazy athletic, not, I shouldn't say crazy athleticism, but it's still his instinct that is making a huge impact on, especially on ball defensively. He knows when to double. He knows when to go after the ball. He's positioned great.
And he's still moving it up in the open court offensively.
Yeah, he can still run okay. It's just a little bit of the fine motor things where it's stopping quickly or just leaping ability.
Well,
but he can
he's
still,
never been a great leaper.
No, but he used to leap a little bit, but he can still run. And obviously his reflexes are still going to be fantastic. They need to get rid of him. They need to get rid of LaVine. Vucevic has been playing ridiculously well night in, night out.
Well, that's the guy you got to move, and there are any number of teams who'd be interested there. Well, let's look at what the speculation has been right now in the trade market. And this is the latest that we got from our guy Joe Cowley of the Sun-Times, saying that this is on the front office and that Billy Donovan is not going to stop asking his guys to try. Everybody knows what's going on. So this is according to Cowley. He said a source said the front office has full autonomy about the direction the season can take. They're behind the idea of showcasing players such as LaVine, Vooch, and Lonzo through the first 30 or 35 games, then hoping there's going to be a shift in the stubborn trade market, but the shift hasn't come. And he characterizes it as a flinch, if not a shift. The Warriors already traded for Dennis Schroeder, and they're starting him. They're reportedly shopping for even bigger fish, so Vucevic and LaVine fit that description and would make their roster better. Remember, it was against the Warriors that Vooch had his best game as a Bull. So you hope that's fresh in their mind.
Yeah, that was without DeRozan and maybe LaVine. I think that was without at least one of the two.
He said the Nuggets are sniffing around LaVine, which the Sun-Times has confirmed. The Lakers are in on every rumor of the day. He said,
of course they are.
Keep an eye on the Grizzlies, who would love to move off the contract of Marcus Smart. But he's set to make $21 million in the final year of his deal, and the Bulls don't want to add veteran contracts beyond this season. So now it's going to start to get real. Now you've got a thing.
This is going to sound really stupid, and it makes no sense, but I love Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
I think Marcus Smart in a Bulls uniform would be really cool. I don't know why.
You know what it would be like?
Patrick Beverly.
A better version of Patrick Beverly with a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of yappiness.
Not as much yappy. He talks a little bit. He's not a yapper like Patrick Beverly. There's a reason that Patrick Beverly has a podcast and was talking about his experience in Israel with Yom Kippur because he fasted.
He did?
Yes.
Patrick
he documented his fasting journey because he saw what was going on. He said the culture is really interesting in Israel, and so he fasted to see what it was like.
Well,
it sucks.
Yeah.
He was
saying, I can tell you what it's like.
He didn't even drink water, he said. So he was
like a black adder.
Yeah. He was doing it better than we do as fantastic Jews that eat bacon on Thanksgiving. So
bacon.
Well, money.
You know the old story, right? Where there's all sorts of back in the old country. Shlomo in the village had questions for the rabbi, and
Shlomo, it's like the pitcher,
and it was wintry, but he got on his cart, and he was pulled by their elderly horse over hill and dale on the wooden wheels, and he's shivering cold. And finally, after a day, he makes it all the way to the rabbi's house. And he goes to the rabbi. He said, "Rabbi, I've traveled many miles, and I have questions." And the rabbi says, "Of course, come in." And he said, "What's your question?" He said, "Rabbi, why are we not allowed to eat pork?" And the rabbi looks up and he says, "We're not?" Whoa. that when you were like 6.
Probably.
You don't remember that?
No, because I was 6.
I know, but you remember everything. I guarantee you can remember the Bulls starting lineup when you were 6.
Ooh.
So what year was that?
2011. So if I was 6,
that
would
was
be
the
2011, 2012. Wait, no, 2010, 2011 season.
Yep.
So that's Rose's MVP year because he won in 2011. So then it's got to be Dang, Noah, Boozer. Was Boozer there?
No, it was Keith Bogans, I think.
No.
Wasn't he in that starting lineup?
No, Heinrich definitely, or maybe
Okay.
off the bench, or Ronnie Brewer could be there.
CJ Watson. That was the
CJ
year
Watson.
of the bench mob. Was Taj on the? Yeah,
Taj
there.
could be. Was John Salmon still there?
Your
Brad
guy.
Miller?
No, Brad Miller was gone.
Yeah.
All right. See, my point being that you remember things from when you were 6, and you remember stupid things, like little things.
Remember
like
Ronnie Brewer was number 11.
No, but you will say like that's the shirt you were wearing when we were at a thing when you were 4. So I don't want to hear that from you. I love the fact that, by the way, if the Golden State Warriors want Zach, I think he'd be a better fit than Schroeder.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely for them.
Because Buddy Hield is a great shooter, and he's been really solid.
Also not a creator,
but he's not a creator. I mean, he was averaging 20 earlier in the year, and then people started saying, oh, well, he can't create for himself, so let's just contest everything. And so,
now that I think about it, maybe that need is an offshoot of NBA fashion, of everybody wanting to play so many outside the 3-point line. And you can find the standstill shooters. Maybe
going back in time a little bit.
Maybe the market inequity isn't necessarily in mid-range scoring. Like, I'm not saying DeMar, but I'm saying old school ISO players.
Jamal Crawford.
Who can collapse a defense enough to let you begin your rotations.
Right.
To just beat your guy.
Maybe not as much gravity as Jokic, which we
No one. That's all-time gravity. No one
greatest of all time. Gravity-wise?
Yeah, as far as how he
shrinks the defense, yeah. But the thing about LaVine is that not only can he create for himself, he's one of the best catch-and-shoot guys in the league. He makes everything off the catch, especially from 3. He can shoot it from 30 feet comfortably, and he can dunk on your head. And I know we've been saying all this about his max contract. Isn't Jaylen Brown a great player? Don't get me wrong, better than Zach LaVine. He's making what, 70 million or something, 60 million? Because he got a super max.
Every year that goes by, contracts look less onerous.
Right. And people are complaining about Patrick Williams making 20 million. He's been people have been really critical of his game. And understandably so, especially because
ceiling.
And because he can't make a dunk. But he's had a couple of possessions in these past few games where it's just like, oh, he went right at Tatum. And he drew a foul, made his 2 free throws. He stuck it to him. And that's Jason Tatum. That is not a chump. That is not somebody as weak as Modest Buzelis. No offense. But Patrick put his shoulder on him. We went flying. I mean...
Well, we know he can do that.
It's like Kirby Doc.
The question is, does Patrick know he can do that?
Does Patrick get traded?
Sure. They need draft capital, man.
They should trade Kobe.
Yes.
Trade everyone
everybody
except
but Buzelis. Get everybody on the right time arrangement.
Io, get rid of Io.
I'm not trading anybody to trade them. But
if you get the right offer.
If the market starts suggesting, God, I keep going back. And it's one thing for us to talk about the Sixers and Drummond and not getting those
Caruso.
When somebody said they could have gotten 2 firsts for Caruso.
1. It was 2 seconds for Drummond, 1 for Caruso, and the Warriors were willing to give up a first.
But there's a lot of Western Conference because the West is bunched up.
Tough.
And if you could play a couple of these teams off each other and let Zach just keep doing what he's doing, it's very hard to be in this headspace right now as a Bulls fan.
Right.
Being as honest as I can be about wanting to watch him and wanting to watch him improve. Hell, I love watching Julian Phillips right now.
Yeah.
You guys
he's making shots.
He's becoming
Derrick Jones Jr., but better. I think then with the Bulls, just because of Phillips's catch and shoot ability, Derrick Jones could make a 3, but Phillips can catch and get rid of it
Jones
away.
Took a while to
Phillips catches it here, and he's straight up. And
he's a rotational NBA
yeah.
functional player right now.
If he keeps getting stronger too, watch out. He can defend, he can jump out of the gym, and he can make threes. What else? And he's young. This is his second year in the league, and he should be if this is second year in the league, he should be a junior in college right now. He's a year older than I am.
Meanwhile, a quick check-in with the G League sees Chris Duarte, who is on loan there, playing really well. DJ Stewart keeps playing great. EJ Liddell had a terrific night the other night, and Adama Sanogo is 18 and 10 every night for sure, but they're not winning anything.
Yeah.
I got your trivia question right last night. Was it last night you asked me?
Which one?
You asked me the two
Final
Four most outstanding players
that are on the Windy City Bulls, and it's Sanogo and Arcidiacono, which is pretty interesting to show how different the college game is and how much harder the NBA is. Not to crap on the G League, because it's a really tough league to play. And good ball, fast. And I was going to say, it's funny because I used to compare Adama Sanogo to Greg Monroe a lot, just because they're
you got to hang out with
him. And I mean, you can see I'm wearing a Pelicans shirt,
like a
at the Pelicans game, because it was on sale. No, it's just nice. It was on sale.
Oh, there's this velvet. This is beautiful. Not a schmata.
God, you're so Jewish.
That's what I was doing.
And Greg Monroe is a player development coach for the Pelicans, and I was sitting and I noticed a very large man in front of me, a few rows down. Hold on.
You should know the Pelicans ticket is like $3,
and then you walk into
and
the
you
one.
Can sit anywhere. Yeah.
Especially at a weeknight game.
Right.
When I went to the one against the Lakers, and you could not go anywhere. But when they're playing anybody else, I did this against the Kings, the Thunder, and who else did I go to? God, it was a really good game.
Oklahoma City?
That's the Thunder, you dumbass.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes, the Thunder. Wasn't somebody heckling DeMar?
The whole time. And he was right behind me. And it was hilarious because I was laughing every single time he did some sorcery to get a foul, because I know what it's like to know, haha, sucker.
He was doing DeMar stuff?
Yeah. He, like, he did it to a two-way guy, Jamal Cain. He did what? Bang right on the shoulder, barely touches him, gets 2 free throws.
Falls down.
Had like 13 points in the first half and made 1 field goal. But
stays on the floor for 30 seconds afterwards.
It was awesome. But back to my story. So it's Greg Monroe sitting a few rows in front of me. So I wait until a timeout, and I'm with my friend who's a huge Pelicans fan, even though he's from Canada. It's because he used to visit New Orleans all the time as a kid, and he loved Anthony Davis, so he became a Pelicans fan. Okay. Now he hates Anthony Davis because that whole Lakers thing, because he's a meatball. But I go up and I introduce myself to Greg Monroe, and I shake his hand. The biggest hands I have ever seen on a human being. And I'm taller than he is, and my hands are relatively big for my height.
Yeah.
And
I don't think your hands are as big as mine.
No, but my hands are wide. My hands are really wide.
You have the same hands as I do.
No, but my hands are like
so are
wide.
Mine. We have the same hand.
Yeah. And his hand wrapped all the way around. And I was just like, no, that can't be real. He was taller than I was while sitting down. And
that's not.
And that's real. And what's funny is that RJ Hunter, former Celtics first-round pick, played for the Bulls for a little bit.
That's your guy.
Yeah, so he's an assistant coach at Tulane because his dad coaches there, and I've built a relationship with him, and he's a great guy. And he said he would be open to joining the pod at some point. So
Greg Monroe did, or CJ did?
RJ did.
Okay.
And he'd be great. And I texted him and I said, "You played with Greg Monroe for a little bit in Boston." He's like, "Yeah, that's a great dude. Tell him I say what's up." And I said, "Why are his hands so big? Why is he so big?" He's just like, he's legit 7-footer. That's a big ass dude. And I said, yeah. And Greg Monroe, really nice guy.
And what's he doing for the Pels?
Player development. Well,
what does that mean? Just like
probably just helping out. Like nothing crazy. Just my guess is wants to stay around the game. Just and totally understand. Really good dude, and it was really cool meeting him. God, Zion, man. This is turning into a Pels podcast.
But what was up with Zion? Was he not playing?
Oh, he hasn't been playing. This is bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
And people are saying his work ethic. I know Stephen A. Smith said this before, but apparently New Orleans chefs love to treat Zion because they know he'll order everything. It's bad. He has a belly. It's not good. It's his work. He's comfortable just sitting there and getting paid. Like there's no urgency at all.
Well, maybe the Pelicans should talk to all these chefs and say, "Hey, knock it off. Stop feeding the wildlife. It's bad for the environment." Like if he's going into these high-end places and Emeril Lagasse's pouring the hollandaise down his throat, he's contributing.
If you visit in the spring, we go to a nice restaurant and we see Zion there.
No, but the truth is chefs do like that. Like when we ate, Emeril had a restaurant on Chapatula Street.
Yeah.
And we sat at the food bar there, which is like the chef's table where it's all the grill guys at the end of the night. Where we'd already pretty much eaten. I had like a pecan crusted redfish. And at the end of the night, so there's all this meat like lying around, and the cooks, they start, slicing. He takes, and I said, boy, that duck looks really good. It goes,
hold on. I don't know if your trivia question is on here.
Yeah, it is.
Hold that.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, because I said the duck looks really good. He takes a huge knife, cuts a half of a duck breast, and just slaps it on my
How
plate.
good was it?
Oh, I mean, it's ridiculous. But we were already done. And that was the point of the evening where they had all this meat.
Someone is saying Zion needs to get out of New Orleans because the food is too damn good.
Well, every gas station in New Orleans has great food.
It's ridiculous. It's
awesome.
I'm
not kidding.
I'm awake.
Gas stations.
I am out at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, just dreading waking up and watching the Bears game because I still put myself through that. And there's just this, whatever, you go on Google Maps, you look up 24-hour restaurants, you find the place with the least amount of Tulane kids and the least amount of white people. And it's my rule.
Is that a filter?
Is it a
filter
no
on
whites.
Right.
No whites. That is my rule because where all the white people go in New Orleans is these touristy rip off. And I went to one of my friends had a birthday and she went to this place and it was like so hey, and all I wanted was an oyster po' boy. And that's with some remoulade and whatever side they gave me, some chicken sausage gumbo,
boudin balls,
anything, crawfish pies, and I would have destroyed it. But it was just, I will say, the drinks were really strong, and it made it a little more enjoyable.
Well, and in New Orleans, you can walk around with them too. So
on Saturday night, I missed that. I missed being
walking around with a drink. Oh my god! Walk out of a bar with a drink.
The best. That's why in New Orleans they serve all their drinks in plastic cups instead of glass, because then you take it outside with you.
Because they know you might leave.
Exactly. There are a lot of Irish goodbyes down there, but
there should be. That should be the standard goodbye.
But yeah,
ghosting should be the standard because nobody cares. Nobody cares if you leave.
True.
They don't.
True.
They don't. You could drop dead. Nobody would care. In some places. I mean, at least I'm speaking for myself in this regard. And that brings us to
really? Have we talked about everything? Check your agenda.
Well, I had mine removed. No,
that makes no sense. I didn't say genitals. I haven't done enough pushing you today. You deserve it.
So my thing, since he's been home, is if if he's sitting on the couch like watching TV, I pretend that I can't see him. So wherever he is, I sit on him.
Because he's a dick.
I just don't know wet willies. No wet willies.
What if I put it up your butt?
That's not a wet willy.
It's a wet ass willy. Wet ass willy.
My favorite blues musician.
Wet ass willy.
Pioneering blues musician.
Willy.
He's sitting on the couch. He's like watching TV. I just go over and I pretend I ignore the fact that he exists and I just sit there.
On me,
yes.
all of his body weight,
and then I go, "Oh yeah, you're home. Oh, that's right. I guess you are
only
here.
for 20 more days." Yeah, I know. I want to go back.
I'm gonna move to another country.
We should.
I think we
before
covered,
January, whatever.
We covered most of the bull stuff. We got trade rumors. They're playing too well. Other teams in the East are worse than they are, and the Bulls have the easiest schedule from here on in the conference.
Hopefully they lose tonight against Milwaukee.
They better. Like you can't. You got to stop winning these games.
Patrick's gonna have some kind of 20-point game, and it's just not gonna be good.
So I think we're covered, and I think it's time for the showdown.
All right.
So
He just got wet, Willie, by the way.
we got a winner from last week for the crowd question, Jason's crowd question, and this was a tough one. The crowd question was, can you name in the second COVID year when everybody kept getting sick?
No, not the second COVID year. It was when they started allowing fans back in the arena. So 2021, 2022.
Right.
But that's when everybody got sick.
Right. That's when people got sick, and the Bulls ended up signing 6 players to at least one 10-day contract.
That's a lot.
Can you name them was the question. And congratulations to Chris G on Blue Sky. So Chris
Your favorite.
It is my favorite. Who sleep? Like
Damn it! I was going to say that.
No. So Chris named Mac McClung, Stanley Johnson, Jordan Bell, Alfonso McKinney, Malcolm Hill, and the bane of my existence, Ersan Ilyasova.
Bulls legend.
As the correct 6. Well, good job, Chris.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'll go first.
You go first.
So mine is very straightforward. And I know we talked about in the past Josh Giddey and where he'd rank all time in triple doubles with the Bulls because he'd be super high on that list.
Okay.
Can you name the top 10 Bulls of all time in career double doubles in a Bulls uniform? So pretty straightforward.
Career double doubles in a Bulls uniform.
Yes, top 10.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Number 4
is 4th.
4th.
In double doubles?
Double doubles. Didn't get that many assists or rebounds compared to other guys.
Yeah, but I just figured he's Jordan.
Yeah, 4th.
Okay. Pippen.
Number 1. 200.
Gilmore.
Nope.
He's on the top 10?
Nope. I don't know if he played
Oh yeah, there's
either
got to
long
be guys
enough
who
or
played
maybe
long.
not even a stat thing. I mean, I'm sure it was points and
Did
rebounds.
Horace Grant get on there?
Number 2 with 194.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've got 1, 2, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
What about Noah?
Number 3 with 187.
Okay. Vooch.
Number 5 with 175 games as a Bull with a double-double for 3 years. So it makes sense.
So I've got the top 5.
Yep.
How about Dang?
Luol Deng is number 9 with 89.
How about Gasol?
Pau Gasol is number 8 with 100.
So I got 3 left?
Yep. 6, 7, and 10.
Borwinkle.
No.
No. So they're all modern. I'm trying to think who would have
Two of them. One of that. It's by decade. It's like 2010s, late 90s, early 2000s, and then late 80s. So it's kind of in like 10
Oakley?
Oakley is number 6 with 127.
Did Heinrich do it with assists?
No, both big men.
Both big men.
So you got 7 and 10 left.
And it's 7 and 10. I said Dang. I said Gasol. Boozer?
Number 7 with 117.
So I got one more.
One more. And this is the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, like Brad Miller?
Nope.
Late 90s. It's not Curry. Tyson Chandler?
Nope. He's close though. He's like 12th or something.
Yeah, because he. Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, who was on those teams who would 10th all time in a big?
Yeah, good player.
Just a good player.
Let me look up his career numbers because I don't know exactly, but I remember he had. I don't know if it was with the Bulls he had his best years, but he was solid.
Was he? Is he American?
Yes,
major college.
Believe so.
Oh, you don't know where he went to college. A big from the
he went.
That was
major college.
Big
Very
10? Big 10.
Nope.
SEC.
Nope.
Big East.
Nope.
Pac.
No. The last one.
Big 12.
No, the other one where all the good basketball schools are for the most.
ACC.
Yes.
Carolina.
No.
Duke.
Yes.
Oh.
2-time NBA All-Star.
Brand.
Elton Brand. Good player.
Brand. Good question.
Thank you.
Good
Rookie
question.
of the year, number 1 overall pick.
Tied for Rookie of the Year with Steve
Yeah.
Francis.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Here's your question before we get to the crowd question. There are 4 teams in the college football playoff that have received byes.
Yes.
Name the teams that have received byes.
So it's going to be Oregon, Georgia, Boise, and Arizona State.
Correct. Now, from each of those schools, name the most valuable NBA player each of those schools has produced.
Okay. Arizona
ever.
State has to be James Harden.
Absolutely, it is. That's the easy one. There's another one that I got, but I just thought this would be a fun question. And the other, this is hard. I got the number 2 guy at Boise State, but not the number 1.
Was that Chandler Hutchison or something?
No. Number 2 was Chris Childs.
I'm cooked.
It's
Georgia, Dominique Wilkins.
Yes, Dominique Wilkins.
When is Anthony Edwards going to get there? All right.
He will, maybe. Well, Dominique's, he played forever. Though,
yeah.
So he accrued a ton of overall value.
Okay. So those, I'm assuming, are the easy ones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Oregon, I didn't know this guy went to Oregon, and then I realized he was a much better NBA player.
So he's retired?
Yeah.
For a long time?
Yeah, for a decent amount of time.
Played in the 90s?
Yeah.
2000s?
I think into the 2000s, yeah.
Okay. Is he a big?
No.
Guard?
Yeah.
White guy?
No.
Was he ever a Bull?
No.
All-Star?
Yeah, I believe he was an all-star at least once.
Was he really good at one specific thing?
No.
Jack of all trades?
No, he could score. He could pass. He was just really one of the better point guards of his era.
Clue.
I don't even know if you know his name.
No.
Terrell Brandon.
I've heard the name, but I wouldn't have gotten that.
And Boise State, you wouldn't. It's
okay.
A guy named Gus Johnson, but not the announcer, but the same name.
Never would have gotten that.
Okay.
That's hard.
That's hard.
I'm glad I got obviously James Harden.
Right.
Could have said Fat Lever, but I remember that from the Fat Lever or AC Green. If AC Green went to Oregon State, Fat Lever went to Arizona State. Because I remember that was the first podcast episode we did. It was Fat Lever, and AC Green, and Mookie Blaylock or something like that.
Yeah, and you wonder why you expect you to remember.
Rolando Black.
Okay, here's your crowd question.
Oh, Jesus.
Here's your crowd question. And don't go looking it up. And don't go breaking my heart. Name the... Would you stop it?
No, if you stop sitting on me.
No.
Okay.
I don't think I want to.
You sounded like one of my friends from school when you said that.
I don't know.
No. I don't think you want to.
No.
Yeah.
Name the 4 Bulls ever to average 13 or more rebounds per game in a season. There are only 4 ever who have had at least a 13 rebound average in a full qualifying season. One guy did it 3 times, 2 guys did it twice, and 1 guy did it once. There's your crowd question. So you can send that answer to @Dan_Bernstein on Twitter, @Dan Bernstein on Blue Sky, or @Jason.Bernstein_ on Instagram. There you go. And if you get it right, we will shout you out in episode 104. But that is going to do it. So subscribe, rate, and
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Oh God. Merry Christmas and happy Hanukkah to all of our favorite
happy New Year. Or we're gonna do an episode before then.
We could do a special New Year's episode where we pull our pants down and party.
You do that anyway.
Yeah, I know. Let's do it.
Woohoo!